I think you see some fans are first album fundamentalist. I mean, the only Body by Blood is the best and nothing else. What do you think of them? Do you understand them or?
Yeah, I understand it. You know, it's a fucking amazing album, and it's an important album. You know, it's like, you know, it's important in this whole scheme of heavy metal history. You know, so I understand it.
So you wouldn't say they should open up their ears and more open-minded?
No. If they love Bonded by Blood that much, how am I going to criticize them for it? You know.
You know, metalheads are pretty smart. You know, they don't get the credit of that, and I think that's you have to give them that. You know, that opening for that and saying, you know, you guys are smart. If this is what you choose that you like to listen to, because I mean, I loved Bonded by. Here's the band. I wasn't in the band, so I got to listen to Bonded by Blood, and oh man, every single song on that record just kicks ass. Every song. It's like every song is a single on that record to me. Because again, I'm an outsider. I wasn't on Bonded by Blood, so I can look at it objectively. I remember when the record came out, I went and saw Judas Priest in Sacramento, and I had parked my car right where every car pulls into the parking lot. And we were sitting out in the car drinking, kind of waiting for the show to start. Every damn car that came in that lot was playing Bonded by Blood. Every single car. And I pointed that out. I go, listen to every car pulling in here. What are they playing? They're not even playing Priest, so listen to Bonded by Blood. Every single car.
This is great. But did you have any difficulty when you joined EXODUS because of, you know?
Only the first two shows.
Yeah.
People were actually buying full beers to throw at me, not to drink. Yeah. I got popped in the head with a couple of cans.
Well, fans were more aggressive back.
Well, they were just upset that I think the change. They liked me in Legacy and they liked Paul in Exodus, and I understand that, and I did, and I, you know, I get it, and I was cool with it after that. I understand. I mean, there was for years people have come, you know, and they'll say, there's people that like, you know, they like Rob, they love Rob, you know what I mean? They don't care for my vocal, and that's fine. I understand. I get it. You know, you can't please everybody, obviously.
No.
So I get it. It was a little bit of a transition, but I think by Fabulous Disaster, that was already gone and done, and I was the singer for Exodus at that time.
Okay. So could you tell us something about legendary combat tour with Slayer and Venom? Do you have any interesting episode?
Oh, yeah, that whole tour was one interesting episode. There's a lot of alcohol drunk, you know, so it's always kind of like, whenever I'm asked that, it's a hard question to answer because it's kind of a blur, but it was a fun blur. You know, it kind of went by like that, you know, it seemed like it was over as quick as it started. But, you know, they had a lot of fun, especially with Jeff, you know, like
Jeff Down.
we did a lot of drinking on that tour, and I have photos of us at sound check. We're already drinking at like 2:30 in the afternoon, you know, on a gig night. But you know, we were young. We were able to do it. You know, so we enjoyed it to the fullest, and we had a great time.
Okay. I heard an episode that Tom peed on the Kronos' head and Kronos punched Tom. Is it true?
You have to ask Tom about that.
I never heard that. I never heard that one.
I know all the
That's
details.
not true.
I know all the details.
Did you see it?
I'm pleading the fifth. I'm not saying anything. I just know every aspect of that story. And yes, Kronos did hit Tom in the eye.
Boy, I'm glad I wasn't.
As a friend, hit him in the eye. Everything was fine next day. Like no hard feelings. Tom had a black eye. So it happens sometimes. It's all about metal.
Hard hitting.
Kronos is a big guy.
Yeah, Conrad is not he's no pushover, that's for sure.
Okay. So Steve, your voice is very outstanding. It's very peculiar. So who is your favorite singer?
Bon Scott.
Oh, Bon Scott.
Bon Scott's my favorite. I love him to death. Yeah, but in my influences, I would go anywhere from Lemmy to Jello Biafra, Johnny Rotten. Phil Moog, you know, Robert Plant, anything from that, you know, I loved anything hard. Dio, which I can't sing like, but I love him to death. I love Rainbow. I mean, it's just, God, it's just amazing to me. I can never turn the Rainbow song off ever. If it starts, you have to stop and listen to the whole song.
So you like the classic high-pitched heavy metal singers?
I think at the time when I started singing, that's when I mean, if you even listen to early Slayer stuff, I mean, Tom's in,
Actually he's very high pitched.
Yeah, and he doesn't really do that much anymore. So I think it's an evolution of it. But I found that it's comfortable for me, and I don't have any problems. And I think even on Blood In, Blood Out, it's my highs are really getting up there, and stuff like Salt the Wound and Black 13.
Okay. So Gary, what was it like to play in Slayer? Was it tough to play in two bands at one show?
Yeah, it's tough when you're trying to juggle two bands and family, and and it's not easy. But there's a lot worse problems a guy can have than play guitar for Exodus and Slayer. That's not really a problem. It's pretty good, fortunate, circumstance to be in. But it's hard. The Exodus has had to do tours without me because of my commitments with Slayer, and then I've had to do double duty where I played twice a night. And that's hard on the body at 50 years old. It's not that easy. It's not that easy when you're 25.
Yeah, he had to do 19 shows to whereas we played, and then he had about an hour break, and then had to do another hour and a half. So he played 2.5 hours almost every night. So
I played 38 shows.
with Slayer, it was 19 that we had to do double duty, right?
Yeah, no, and then I did headlining shows.
Yeah, then we did 12. We did 12 back to back.
At one point, I did 11 sets in 6 days.
Oh, it's too hard.
Yeah, it tore me up.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, worst problems you could have. I could be out having to do manual labor somewhere.
Okay. So what do you think of today's thrash metal scene? Do you like any younger thrash metal bands?
Thrash bands?
Thrash bands.
Yeah, this band, I think they're from Poland, called Lost Society. They're super killer. They're really great. Yeah, fucking awesome.
Municipal Waste, Havoc, they're great bands.
Oh, I have one.
Patriot, this other band that's coming up. There's a lot of good bands.
Warbringer, of course. Evil.
Yeah, they're great.
Eva.
Yeah, Evolve, yeah, good bands. I mean, so they're carrying the torch and they're carrying the attitude as well. And I think that your mainstay thrash bands are all delivering good music still. I mean, Overkill put out a great record last year. Anthrax still puts out. Worship Music was great. Testament's still doing good music. I'm sure the new Slayer's going to be amazing because I loved World Painted Blood as well. Megadeth. Everybody's bringing it. So I think as a genre, there's really no going, well, their last record was kind of, no, everybody's really strong right now.
Yeah, you're right. And the thrash metal scene is very strong now. What did you think about the rise of death metal and grindcore in the late 80s and early 90s? I felt thrash metal could be killed by them back then.
No, it's just all natural evolution. It's like all we did was take the music that was before us and put our own stamp on it, and then thrash metal, and from thrash metal came death metal, and from death metal came black metal. It's just all it's the way music works. Is people take their inspirations and they alter it and twist it into something new.
Yeah, now they all all the death metal, black metal, thrash metal live together, coexist. But back in the 90s, it's like thrash metal is almost dying, and
that's because thrash metal had left the underground and became a major label entity. And when the major labels started killing it off, death metal and stuff was still very underground. And whereas most of us thrash bands were trying to pick up the pieces from failed major label deals.
Okay, so it's more.
I think that the death metal kept metal alive because if you think about it, in the 90s, there wasn't really a lot of heavy metal. I mean, grunge came in and just wiped it off the face of the earth. So I think that it was good bands like Cannibal Corpse kept going and stuff, and that actually was a catalyst for us to reinvent ourselves and start over again. And now, because the core bands, like I said, are really strong now, I think that thrash metal is probably the strongest it's ever been. We understand ourselves now. We understand what we all are about. Before it was okay, I need to get to the top of the hill before that guy. Now we're all, let's get to the top of the hill together, and I think that that's the best way to do it. That's why this is surviving. We just did it to Slayer and Suicidal. That wouldn't have been possible in 1987. Everybody would want a top shot. Now it was, no way, let's work together and make it this thing, and I think that that's what's great.
Okay, that's great. Okay, for the last, could you give the message to the Japanese fans, to the video camera?
Love you guys, man. It's great coming back.
We're always happy to be here, and it's my favorite place to tour in the world, you know. I'd love to come here sometime and actually spend a week here and not have to go home.
With your kids.
With my children, yeah, because they kick my ass every time I come here because they haven't been here yet. But maybe next time, you know.
Yeah, it's great. We were in Harajuku yesterday shopping. Oh yeah, we had the greatest time. Those little ice cream crepes that are like this.
Yeah.
Come on, I can
Angel
get
crepes.
400 pounds eating that stuff, man. But hats off to Japan. They really treat us well. They're always on spot, and there's nothing left they're always on top of the game. That's why we love it.
I've done much shopping at Bodyline over the years, online and at the stores. You know, for my kids. You know, they love the little Harajuku girl dresses and stuff.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank
My
you.
pleasure. Thank you.
Enjoy the show tonight.
Yeah, I will.